talk about where customer service is headed in 2014. We'll take a look at some big customer service initiatives that came up late last year, and we'll examine how those are influencing the larger industry as a whole. We'll talk about technology and strategies, and we'll have a little time at the end, I hope, for some Q&A. So if you have questions, please feel free to use that WebEx Q&A box anytime. You can send those in, and I'll address them at the end of the presentation. But if we don't have time to get to every question, I'll definitely respond to everyone afterwards by email, because I definitely do want to respect everyone's time and right at 2:45. Also, we are going to be recording the session today, and I'll send out the slides right after the session's over, and a link to the recording probably by midday tomorrow. That just takes a little bit more time. So please feel free to forward the information to anyone in your organization you think would be interested in having this information. So to start us off today, what we've seen over the past 3 to 4 years, I'm sure this has been similar to what we've all seen, there's been a big shift in the way that we understand the function of the call center and how we communicate that function properly, both within the organization and also externally to our customers and our prospects. So it hasn't really been that long at this point since the industry stopped calling it a call center. You know, a lot of people still do call it a call center. But back in 2011, we definitely started seeing a shift towards calling it a contact center instead, because it's not just calls that are coming in or going out anymore. You know, in the vast majority of cases, it's more than just a call center. These agents that are sitting in the call center are having phone interactions, they're having chat interactions, they're manning email, social media. It's way more than a call center, given all of these channels that customers can use today to contact a company. So contact center really quickly became the standard terminology. And, you know, just when that change has picked up steam, we're actually seeing a shift again. So in 2014, there's an even more customer-centric vision where the call center is focused more on engagement. So we're seeing more companies calling it now the customer engagement center, where agents are engaging with customers in this truly multi-channel, omni-channel way, providing this consistent experience across all touch points and really showcasing service as their really strong differentiator. And companies are definitely focusing on customer service as an area of differentiation, particularly, I think, in industries that have many big players that are competing on very similar products or similar service offerings. Financial services is a really good example. The differences between, you know, Bank A and Bank B, if you're looking for a place to do your personal banking, the differences are pretty slight, right? They both have checking accounts, they both have a branch in your town, they both have plenty of ATMs that are local to you. The offerings, when you look at it, are pretty similar. But where we're seeing banks focus now, and what they're really pushing, is this customer-centric atmosphere, and that's going to be the bank that performs well in a customer service way. That's going to be the bank that gets your business. It's going to be the one that has convenient hours for customers. They have helpful reps available to assist you. They've got excellent phone support. The website experience is really good. Maybe they have really good mobile capabilities. They can do live chats and co-browsing, and they use click-to-call technology. Really anything that's making it easier for the customer to do business efficiently, that's going to be the winner. So what we've seen bubbling up over the past few years in these big industries like financial services and the airline industry, and even insurance companies are getting into this. It's not only are companies committing resources to delivering this strong customer service experience, but they're actually marketing it. They're putting it front and center in their ad campaigns. So you think about Amazon's Mayday campaign, which we'll talk about a little bit later. They did a big ad campaign before the holidays, and that was amazing. Their entire narrative was around this fast and easy customer support tool for the Kindle, and consumers went nuts. That all of a sudden became this deciding factor for people who were looking into what tablet to buy for their families in December, all based on the customer service offering. So moving into 2014, we're already seeing big enterprise organizations looking for ways that they can mirror that Mayday experience and not only provide it, but capitalize on the attention that Amazon got for it. Again, highlighting customer service as the differentiator. And companies of all sizes are getting the message that customer service isn't going to be just an 800 number that you hide on the bottom of your contact us page. That's just not the way we can do business anymore. It is critically important to communicate a strong customer service offering to customers before they buy from you, during their purchasing process, as well as after. So companies today are putting live help buttons on, every page of the site, whether that launches chat, click to call, co-browsing, all three. It's just showing that you're showing your customer that you're there when they need you and where they need you. Omni-channel support is going to be this big overarching goal, the big push. And that's not only being available to the customer from wherever he is when he needs help, on the exact web page where he is, in the exact mobile app that he's using, right on the web form that he's filling out. It doesn't matter what device he's on, his laptop, his phone, his tablet. So not only being available, but providing that customer's preferred support channel wherever he is. So a phone number, live chat, self-service tools, co-browsing, click-to-call, links to social media accounts. The direction that we're heading in is in truly putting the needs of the customer first. It's being there universally and providing all the relevant channels at the moment of need. So the key aspect of all of these engagement technologies, though, is being fast and easy to use and relevant and personal when possible. One-click access, easy to find resources, again, all in a consistent experience across any device, any platform. And what companies are striving for is being able to easily transition customers across all of these channels and devices. So easily transitioning from a social interaction maybe to a phone interaction, or a self-service interaction right into a chat and co-browsing interaction. The true goal here is to carry that experience in a consistent way across channels seamlessly and not making the customer repeat his problem or his question to a new agent in a new channel, and not limiting the information that's available to agents depending on what channel they're serving. So in 2004, we're committing to providing this unified, customer-centric, personalized experience. That's what companies are shooting for. Mobility, it's a critical component in working towards that goal of omni-channel support. Forrester estimates some pretty significant spends in 2014 and beyond, as you can see here, on mobile process reinvention services is what they're calling it. So we've seen a lot of services move to the web over, the past decade as a whole that were once brick and mortar operations like shopping and banking or dealing with insurance companies or doing your taxes. Companies did a really good job, and they continue to do a good job of creating strong web experiences to support those activities. So the push now is in making all of those activities work seamlessly with a consistent experience on all mobile devices as well, all mobile platforms, so all tablets, all devices, and whether that's using a mobile browser or using a native application. It's a lot to invest in recreating this whole customer experience. And the next big push is in making sure our support channels function seamlessly in this environment as well. So voice and chat, co-browse, self-service, click-to-call, access to social media, all of this needs to be available and mobile compatible. I'm going to just add a quick note here on co-browsing specifically, since it's my specific area of expertise. Co-browsing is actually filling a really critical need in terms of mobile customer service, exactly because of the breadth of platforms and devices and environments, and the various ways that companies are optimizing their content and their services for mobile channels. So it's hard for companies to keep all their agents trained on what the site looks like on this tablet versus that tablet, or what functionality maybe the Android app has that the iOS app doesn't have. There's a lot of intricacies involved in the mobile space. So what we've seen is a lot of companies adopt co-browse and sort of rely on it to make sure that their agents can really quickly and easily support mobile customers without having to ask a lot of questions about what their environment is, what they see on their screen. It gets right to the heart of the question or the problem, and they can just walk that customer through a resolution without guessing at what they may or may not be seeing on their specific mobile screen. So greater adoption of social media. Social media has been an exciting channel to watch in terms of customer service. I actually spent a lot of time earlier in my career working at marketing agencies that had jumped, right into the social media bandwagon back in 2006, 2007. So I was one of the first people on Twitter, the first people on Facebook. I did a lot of work helping companies back then understand how to use social media for marketing purposes. So it's been really interesting to me personally just to see this evolution of social media. At first it was this shaky sort of marketing channel, and then it was this shaky sort of customer service channel, and now we're really seeing brands do a really good job in both areas on social media. So, the vast majority of companies today have already built at least a minimal social media presence, and they've probably worked out some kind of strategy for branding and marketing. Where we're going to see a bigger shift this year is in more sophisticated strategies in this channel as a customer service tool. Again, as part of those omni-channel initiatives, companies are making sure that the social media team isn't siloed. They're a working component of this customer engagement team. These are agents that are going to be well trained in providing support through social channels. They've got the tools they need already to monitor and respond to customer inquiries. This is a mature technology market. So the next step is just really tying it all together, creating that omni-channel support experience that we're striving for through agent training and giving those agents access to customer information and analytics. All right, and another trend that we'll see more of in 2014 is brands investing in these peer-to-peer platforms for either the primary or secondary purpose of customer support. The goal here is similar to self-service, but now it's non-agent-led support, and that's a way of reducing contact center volume. So letting brand fans and advocates, or just experts, outside experts on a specific technology or a product, letting those individuals participate in a kind of a social media-like forum and providing help to your customers and prospects without leveraging your own internal resources. So, a good peer-to-peer platform functions sort of like almost a cross between a social network and a knowledge base. So companies are providing these platforms and monitoring them and incentivizing these experts to participate. But the goal is that customers can find the answers to their questions without having to even contact your customer support team directly. This type of technology has really come a long way in a relatively short time. We've seen some pretty cool entrants to this market in the last year and some pretty successful implementations of this in the marketplace already. But I think what'll come in 2014 or maybe beyond is starting to see this type of solution bundled in as a standard web self-service offering. So some of those vendors that lead in that space will make this technology a little bit more pervasive. So analytics, full disclosure, I'm an analytics nerd. This is one of the areas where I have the most fun in working with our customers and working with the industry in general. Very interested in analytics and improving on what companies can do with these analytics, making them actionable and meaningful. So companies, they continue to get better at analytics in general. Knowing what to measure in order to understand the health of your customer service system is a step that most companies have already taken. And knowing how to measure it was the next step. And knowing what to do with that information has been maybe a little bit harder, especially for metrics like customer satisfaction scores, where the target actually keeps shifting. Consider this. 5 to 10 years ago, people would call in to your customer service call center. They had a problem. A certain percentage of those problems were going to be quick, easy answers or fixes, and a smaller percentage were probably more complex issues, not as easy to solve, something you had to work through with the customer. So the CSAT score on those easy interactions was probably pretty high, right? And on the more complex issues, maybe it was mixed. But aggregated, the whole CSAT score was looking pretty good. So a few years go by, and you've done some usability studies, you've invested in some self-service tools. The number of people that are calling in about those quick and simple problems has dropped significantly, right? People still call in, but now it's more likely because they have a complex problem. What companies are seeing is lower customer satisfaction scores, despite the fact that they're doing everything right to improve the customer experience. So now, in terms of the CSAT score, we need to be more sophisticated about what we measure and how and what we do with that data. So complex call types require a different strategy if CSAT lift is an important metric for you. And what types of technologies you can use to help customers work through complex processes is a way that engenders positive reactions. It's going to be dependent on how you're measuring that. So we're getting better at this as an industry, and in 2014, companies, I believe, are going to invest more in analytics, specifically in expanding the data to include more steps in the customer journey, and then using that data to improve the whole process. The call center, or I should call it the customer engagement center, it's going to be a key player in these initiatives, but working with IT and marketing to make that data less siloed again and more useful across the board, truly, really making the customer the center of everyone's focus. And the other thing that we'll get better at this year is using real-time analytics to support the customer during his journey in real time. Gartner terms this intelligent business operations. So using those expanded analytics and using this data to give the customer exactly what he's looking for, helping him along the way in a very personal and relevant way, that's the future of web self-service. And concurrently using those analytics to identify when and where engagement would actually be the better option and serving up personal, proactive invitations to engage. That's where companies are going with this. The biggest trend that we've seen over the past 2 years, and we are continuing into 2014, is this shift from seeing the contact center as strictly the cost center and instead positioning it as a profit center, as a key component of the entire corporate strategy that comes from being a customer-centric organization. Companies are investing in strong customer service strategies, and they're seeing gains in this revenue per call, company revenue, revenue from customer referrals, customer win-backs, positive social media mentions. What you're seeing on the screen now are some metrics from Aberdeen that were specific to companies using co-browse technology. But just knowing that co-browse-enabled companies are typically hyper-focused on customer service, I think this certainly correlates to a broader picture of companies performing well by providing that excellent level of customer service. So viewing the contact center this way, it naturally leads to a culture of engaged and empowered agents, and they're committed to the company goal of meeting and exceeding customer expectations. These are the types of agents who understand that they play a crucial role, and they're incentivized to provide a positive experience. So along those lines, we're seeing a shift in focus from metrics like call handling time more to things like first call resolution rates and customer satisfaction. So giving agents the right goals to succeed in this kind of environment. So let's talk a little bit now about technology and what's in the agent's toolbox for 2014. Obviously, we at LiveLOOK know that co-browsing and screen sharing technologies are key. We saw a lot of early adoption from financial services companies, where today industries like health insurance, retail, higher education, software companies, they're increasingly relying on co-browsing tools to assist customers. Access to a strong dynamic knowledge base is key, and also access to a strong CRM system for detailed customer information in real time. Better analytics are giving agents the exact information they need to help customers more efficiently and just to tie everything together more seamlessly. Live chat also continues to evolve, and it's providing agents with better tools like smart automation, mobile compatibility, better integration with other technologies like co-browsing and video, like we've seen with Mayday. And as we talked about regarding social media and mobile support, training is really a key area of focus this year. Training in 2014 is going to be less about scripts and more about empowerment to solve customer problems and leave those customers satisfied with the interaction. Another aspect of empowering agents is really listening to them and involving them in the customer service process. So getting their feedback at the end of customer interactions and using that data to look for trends and areas to improve in. It's can be just as valuable as the data from the customer side, and really involving them in the process of making improvements is really smart. These guys are on the front lines. They're getting the same questions. They might be seeing the same errors day after day. So companies need to make it really easy for them to advise their leadership on the processes. Another cool aspect actually of co-browsing technology is that it gives agents this opportunity to really experience the customer journey multiple times, from multiple angles, multiple platforms as it changes day to day. And it makes your agents into this really unique pool of experts with visibility into your user experience. And that information, we've seen this happen, can be used to literally transform businesses. And better metrics, we talked about this, but the basic idea is focusing on efficiency of helping customers versus focusing on getting the customer off the phone faster. So tying efforts into revenue versus tying it to cost, it's going to be transformational in the contact center. And it's really is a key aspect towards creating empowered agents. All right, so let's talk Mayday. I know up front when you sign up for our webinars, we ask you what you want to hear about, and Mayday was a big one. So Mayday, big news. absolutely raises the bar for everyone. And it's important that we understand what this means for customer support today and what it might mean later this year and what will come a little bit further down the road. So when you look at Amazon Mayday features, there are several key components. So I'm going to pick it apart a little bit. One, it's instant, it's in channel, it's easy to use. Okay, so we know that that's the goal. Amazon got this right, absolutely. They had a little bit easier of a job, right, since they created this feature for their own device, the Kindle. But companies that are looking to replicate this Mayday experience, they can also achieve this whole instant, in-channel, easy-to-use experience. They just need to make sure that it's in a device-agnostic way. The second key component is the video aspect. And this is the one that I think gets people the most excited. And I think in 2014, we're going to see a lot of companies jumping at video. You know, they need video, we have to have video support. And then the reality hits that it's going to be kind of a long road to get there. Not just the technology. You know, we can do a lot of really cool things today with WebRTC to get this done. But in terms of training, agent training, creating the environment, I mean, if you've tried the Mayday button, you know that you're talking to this polished, well-trained agent. He's sitting against this white backdrop. You know, he's Amy from the commercial. Amazon went through a lot of setup and vetting and training to get this going. It's going to take some time and significant effort for companies to replicate this. And that's when companies will start questioning, okay, do I really need video today? Do my customers really want to talk to me this way? You know, and in some cases, yeah, it does make sense. In Amazon's case, absolutely. I mean, it's genius. Literally, it's genius. They created a genius bar without investing a single dollar in a brick and mortar location. Now they're competing with Apple and Microsoft without being located in the same mall. They're providing the same level of service, the same service experience of talking to an expert without even requiring their customers to leave the house. So yeah, you know, talk about service as a differentiator. In this space, absolutely, video is the key for them. So yeah, in some retail spaces, video chat makes total sense today, maybe even in some B2B cases. But in the vast majority of cases, it's still kind of categorized as a nice to have and not a must have, for now anyway. But that said, the third component of the Mayday experience that I want to talk about is the co-browsing aspect. When you think about the Mayday interaction as a whole, the audio and the co-browsing components are really the pathway to resolving a customer's question or issue. The video aspect is nice in that it makes the experience personal and it provides a level of trust. But in all honesty, looking at the video is almost distracting you from seeing where the agent is pointing for you to go on the screen to find what you need or to help you do what you're trying to do. So companies today that aren't ready for video, they can still achieve this Mayday-like capability, probably even more efficient than Mayday in most cases, by using co-browsing technology and audio technology that works on any device. And another positive for co-browsing is the ability to strictly control the content that the agents see. So Mayday agents see the entire screen on the Kindle, no matter what. Amazon's answer to this actually is that their agents are well vetted, and so not a privacy concern. Well, honestly, that doesn't work for most companies. Co-browsing can block out credit card numbers, personal health information, anything that you don't want your agents to see. And so this makes it more than just a comparable Mayday solution. It's actually kind of a superior Mayday solution. So the second interesting customer service-wise thing that happened towards the end of 2013 that I wanted to talk about today was the rollout of healthcare.gov. And from that experience, what we can glean in terms of insights that'll help us in 2014. So a lot of this is honestly just proof points regarding what we already know to be sound customer service strategies. But since this all played out on such a public stage, I think it's worth talking through what happened from a customer service standpoint. Obviously, unlike the exciting Amazon Mayday story, the healthcare.gov rollout did not deliver as promised. Of course, the heart of the issue was the website itself. It wasn't functioning as was intended. It was crashing and it couldn't handle the amount of visitors or the applicants. Their forms got lost. There was error messages all over the place. Nobody knew what to do, and people were feeling very dissatisfied with the experience. So cue customer service, right? Know that this is an opportunity for the customer engagement center to shine, to diffuse the situation if possible, to help customers get through this as efficiently as possible. So is that what happened? Honestly, maybe it did happen in some cases. Maybe it happened in a lot of cases. I actually don't know. What I know is the times when it did not happen, because those are the stories that went up on blogs and went out on Twitter and ran in the news. Stories, I'm sure everybody has seen them, stories about those poorly run automated chat programs that were spitting out just irrelevant, unhelpful information at people. Stories about misinformed support agents giving wrong information that is later blamed on an incorrect script. So agents didn't have the tools that they needed to help customers at all. This was about as far from omnichannel as customer support can get. Consumers were not required to enter their social security numbers into the forms, but if they needed help later, agents couldn't even find their information without that. So they were having to put their information in multiple times, call into the contact center multiple times, repeat their story every time. So did they leave the interaction satisfied? Probably not. And as a side note, the entire process was not mobile compatible, which we know was also not smart. And so the world heard all about it, about all of those bad experiences. And of course, it's not like healthcare.gov is going to go out of business, but they certainly gave a good show of what not to do for a customer service strategy. Luckily, as we know, Accenture is taking over the technology behind the site, including efforts to improve their customer support operations this year, which we'll be keeping a close eye on just to see how they address all of these issues and make improvements moving forward. I'm not going to go into the co-browse story here as it relates to the Affordable Care Act. I don't want to, sit here and give you guys a sales pitch for co-browse. But if anybody is interested, I do have a really good white paper on the use of co-browsing technology in the health insurance industry that's specific to the Affordable Care Act initiatives. So you all have my email. Just let me know if you want me to send that over, and I am happy to do so.